We got Jimmy G, and then we'll talk about the 49ers. But Jimmy G first, quarterback 29, ADP 184, really late 16th round. On the Raiders, by the way, everybody. He's got some good weapons, probably the best weapons he's had. I mean, he's had, actually, maybe not. He's had, those other weapons on the Niners as well, but he's got Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Josh Jacobs. What's up with Jimmy G? What was even his injury, Tom? I actually didn't even take note of it.
Oh, wow. Well done.
Was it spinal cord?
No. He had a foot fracture.
I don't wish that upon anybody, by the way. Knock on wood for him. Much better. Okay.
He had the foot fracture that then needed another procedure for. So he has not participated in mini camps or OTAs, but all signs are pointing to him being ready for camp. Really no major concern. There was a lot of drama a month or so ago because in his contract, the Raiders can cut him free of all his guaranteed money if he doesn't pass the physical. But all reports are pretty confident that he's going to pass the physical and be good to go. Now, going back to our last show where we talked about risk factors for injury, age and prior injury being the two biggest one, Jimmy's 31, so age is not exactly in his favor. Here's his injury history. AC joint sprain, ACL tear, 2 high ankle sprains, grade 3, I believe, both of them, calf strain, thumb fracture and ligament tear of his throwing thumb, rotator cuff repair of his throwing shoulder, and this broken foot situation. So, not exactly
catching up to Stafford.
not exactly a favorable injury history, but again, a difference here with a running back, receiver, or tight end is a quarterback's probably not going to get hurt from a non-contact injury unless it's like a scrambling quarterback, like we saw with Kyler last year. For Garoppolo to get hurt, he's going to get hit in order for him to get hurt, which, again, this injury history, he's still more likely to get injured than if he didn't have that history, but it's still going to take the right hit for him to get injured. So it's kind of hard to gauge like how much stock we're putting into this injury history, being that they pretty much were all contact injuries. But it's still a pretty concerning history, and I don't think he's good enough to outweigh that injury risk for him to be on my team, again, unless it's a 2 QB league.
And then, great points. And then that stems off to Devontae Adams, because if Jimmy G is down, I trust Jimmy G, but I'm looking at their depth chart. Brian Hoyer, okay. Aiden O'Connell, that's going to be a huge hit. If you are worried after listening, if you are worried about Jimmy G at all, could be reason for concern for Devontae Adams. Probably one of the best wide receivers ever, but just saying, something to think about. Zach, what are your thoughts on Jimmy G?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have too many hot takes, but I will say, well, maybe this is, do we know that Jimmy Garoppolo is good? We saw that he was fine in San Francisco. He played a couple games for the Patriots, but other than that, he's played for Kyle Shanahan the whole time, right? And
he's
now
a game manager, right?
He's a very good game manager.
Yeah, and he's back with Josh McDaniels. So if he was going to go, I would feel better about him where he's at than if he went to some random place that had a first-year play caller or something like that. But I don't trust the Raiders. I don't know that you've ever trusted Jimmy G. I wouldn't trust him to be on my team.
Seems like a nice guy, grab a cup of coffee with him, we're the same age, good-looking guy. A lot of good-looking young football players out here, and coaches, but I'm with you, man. I don't think I could trust him either. I think he's best probably left on waivers for the 2023 season. Down to our last two. We are going to talk about, and I need a lot of clarifying here. Tom, Zach, 49ers quarterback situation. Tom, I guess we'll go one at a time, and then Zach, I'm going to turn it over to you, man, because you could talk about the podcast that you were just on or that you just hosted. Or, I think you had somebody on with you from the 49ers, one of the beat writers, right, from the 49ers. Is that what it was?
Yep. Jack Hammer, yeah, Santa Rosa Press Democrat.
What a name.
That's actually the best name. Historic Jack Hammer. Okay. I'll let you get to that. I'll introduce the injuries, and then, Tom, you can take it away, and then, Zach, on to you. So, Brock Purdy going real late, guys. QB 25, ADP 182, the 16th round. He's got an elbow tear or coming off an elbow tear. And then Trey Lance, QB 31, also ADP right around 180, 185, 16th round. He's coming off a fractured ankle. Tom, what do you see it. I don't even know who's going to be their starter. I think it's going to be Lance. I'm hearing Purdy. I know Zach probably likes Purdy. Tom, why don't we talk injuries first with these guys?
Let's talk injuries. Let's start with Purdy, who had the UCL tear that was repaired with an internal brace. The average timeline on that is 5 months. His surgery was March 10th, so 5 months would be August 10th. The start of the season is September 10th. A lot of 10s there. Purdy, when recovering from this injury, the throwing program starts typically week 12 post-op. Zach, I believe Jack Hammer was saying that he actually started a little bit before that, which is great. That's great to hear. Obviously, that meant his surgeon was comfortable with what he saw from his healing, that he allowed him to start a little bit early. We're looking at so that throwing program advances over the next 8 weeks to 20 weeks post-op, gradually increasing distance, increasing number of throws, increasing velocity. So it's not like you go from nothing to full at that 12 weeks post-op mark. So 20 weeks post-op will be July 28th, I believe, and the Niners start camp only a couple days before that. So Purdy should be full go by the second week of camp at worst, which should give him vital opportunity to fend off Trey Lance for the starting job. So